So, welcome to the blog, Positive Living Autism. It's been a while since I've blogged on video, and I decided that it's time for me to start doing a little more video blogs. Um, haven't done them in a while, a couple of years actually, and some people missed them a lot, and they were pretty high rated. And I just took a break from them for a little bit to kind of focus just on writing, and I'm gonna try to do both mixed writing and both video because I have time now when I can have a new space to do videos in. Um, Today's video is something that was sort of tough for me to talk about. Um, and it's about the song "We Three Kings of Orient Are." You know the song, and I'm not gonna sing it. But something that always struck me about that song today was the idea of how long it took. People get the impression that the song was like they didn't wait overnight, and it really was a really, really long journey for them. And people don't know that it was a really, really long journey for them, that it took a long time for them to even travel that far. And I look at the spiritual implementations of it in my life is how long the journey takes. It's not a very short trip to find the whatever inside of you, your creator inside of you. It's a long journey. It's a long way to go. It's very powerful trip. But it got me to thinking about like the whole story of creation and his birth and our creator's birth inside of all of us, and how they had utmost faith in believing it. They just followed the star. And I talk a little bit about following that spark. They followed a star and they believed in it. And it took a long time, but they believed. They stayed. The story goes after the wise men gave the gifts, they left, and they just knew not to go that. They were told not to follow the path anymore, go another direction. But yet, they stayed on the course. They knew to keep going forward with the better path and going back and looking behind and going, they probably might not have dealt like, oh, here, right? What should we do here? But they followed the star. The shepherds were the same way. They all followed the star and they knew where to go. People came to visit. And that brought me to this point of like finding your spark. I talked about that in the last post. Finding your spark, finding your heart again. And to see my journey. And years ago, I talked about how the story of creation and the story of the Lord's birth is about us today, like what's going on inside our minds and our heads and that rebirth. And I see that story of like the three wise men as sort of that story of bringing it to the truth of what we are and finding that place where we can guide ourselves to be better, but find our light to shine what we believe. It's a very complex story, and it's going to take me a couple of other videos and a few other posts to really talk about what I want to talk about with this. But part 2 will be a lot about like finding that spark. What do you do when you find it? And like they believed. They just honestly believed that this was the truth. And I noticed it in my own life. It was like how many times I doubted the road, and then I went on another road and said, "Ooh, forget it, that road. I'm going to keep going on this road." And how much better my life was when I followed the path that I wanted to follow. and it wasn't a big deal, but it also wasn't, what I believed. And now, just sort of like believe in that song and follow what that song actually says. Bearing gifts, we travel afar. I mean, we travel very far in our lives to find that road, to find that destiny, to find the truth about who we are and what we do every day. And yet, the sacredness of all of it is sharing our stories and sharing our gifts and being a part of a community that we belong to and sharing those gifts in that community. And not fighting that, just believing in the star. So many times I think we stop believing in the star and stop believing in the story and just go, I don't know, maybe we end up fighting over the goofiest stuff sometimes. I do. I believe in this passionately. And yet, for me today, it's really finding the truth within myself and being like the wise man and just trusting that the story and the truth is actually there. So that's it for now. Thanks for letting me share, and I hope you guys have a great day.